Welcome to 3D Time, from transportation to physics. My name is Ralph Gilman, and this is part 2, Objections. Objections to 3D time. We're going to look at 8 objections to 3D time. We'll show that 3D time is possible and that 3D time makes sense. We'll show some parallels between space and time. And a key point is that time is duration. First objection, time is measured by clocks, which measure only one dimension. Well, length is measured by rulers, and rulers measure only to one dimension. So 3D space takes 3 rulers or 3 measurements by 1 ruler. Time is the same way. 3D time takes 3 clocks, or 3 measurements by 1 clock. So time is not limited to one dimension, any more than space is. Objection number 2. Direction is a property of space, not of time. Well, let's look at turns. Turns in space are measured by angles, and certainly an angle is part of a circle. Well, turns in time are measured by rotations. So, for example, a minute hand turns 360 degrees in an hour. So 1 minute of rotation is 6 degrees of turn. That is, turning takes place in space and time. Objection number 3. We cannot go backwards in time as we can in space. Well, it depends on what you mean by backwards. A ruler measures forwards or backwards, and it's the same distance. Well, a clock counts up and a timer counts down, and it's the same duration. Or you can have a countdown to a rocket launch. Many measurements are the same backwards and forwards. Objection 4. Time flows in one direction. Yes, a clock moves in one direction, but the numbers in a ruler are also in one direction. Time flows because clocks keep on ticking, but stopwatches come to a stop. So time is often an independent variable, and I think that's why it seems to flow. Time is seen to be independent of us, but distance can be an independent variable too, and might seem to be independent of us as well. Objection number 5. The arrow of time is one way. We cannot change the past. Well, yes, the past cannot be changed. And that means that past measurements cannot be changed, such as past measurements of distance, past measurements of duration, or any other variable. For example, if we were to measure the altitude as we're going up a hill, well, earlier measures cannot be changed. So what? The past applies to everything equally. Objection number 6. Events are ordered by time in a linear sequence. Well, events may be ordered in many ways, and one way certainly is by the date and time, although you could count up or down. And another way is by the location. For example, a sequence of battles. Here's a map of World War II, and this is the invasion of Italy. And the series of battles takes place over various locations. And so this is a map showing a sequence of battles in space. And certainly narrators use many different ways of ordering events. For example, a flashback. Let's look more at the order of events. Now, if we order events by time, that is not the same as time itself. That is an application of time. Say we record a child's height on their birthday and then order the birthdays by height. Well, that would not be the same as space. So a timeline orders events by time. What we could call a place line orders events by place. Objection number 7. We can return to the same place, but not to the same time. Well, we cannot return to exactly the same place because places change over time. As it said, you can't step in the same river twice. But more importantly, we cannot return to the same event. An event is in place A at time B, which cannot be repeated. And a periodic event, for example, is never exactly the same. So the past cannot be repeated, whether we're talking about places or times. Objection number 8. Only one dimension of time has been observed. Well, until now. And actually, 3D time is as ordinary as 3D space once you understand what it is. I think it may be related to some ancient views, for example, of the sun going on a journey in time. But actually, physicists have studied 3D time. There have been many papers written since 1975, but no one has said exactly what 3D time is until now. In conclusion, remember that 3D time is duration, whether counting forwards or backwards, and 3 dimensions requires 3 measurements. The past affects all measurements, not just measurements of duration. And the order of events is not the same as time. So time can be 3-dimensional. Next up is Part 3, Kinematics 1.